Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. It's Tuesday. I just got my last week's weekly reading vlog posted today because I had way more footage than I realized and it took me longer than I had anticipated to edit. So I'm going to factor that in this week and try to edit as I go instead of just putting everything together last minute and thinking that I can edit it all and after the children go to bed, because that's not how that works. So yeah, I'm getting a jump start this week so that I'll be on time next week. I am just going to jump right into what I'm reading right now. I'm finishing The Dating Plan. I am in the last 10 pages. So this is the very first thing that I am wrapping up this week. And I have not read any more on this yet because I was just finishing The Dating Plan, but this is my main goal for this week, The Hero of Ages. And part of me is a little afraid to go into this one because I know that it's going to be wonderful, but it's also going to hurt because I've been told that it's going to hurt. And so I don't know what to expect from it, but I guess you guys are going to go along on the journey with me, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what I'm going to be in the mood to read, so I'm going to show you guys what I have just sitting in my lap and around me. I would show you my stack of books this way, but it's like 11 books. I have 11 books sitting there at all times because sometimes I might just want to pick something up and read a few chapters. I have my TBR cart in my living room now, sitting over there. That's partially because my son's crib is in our bedroom, but also because I like having it right there because I can look over and I can be like, I might want to pick that up. Which I guess is not always the best thing because I have a really bad habit of picking up books and starting them and then not finishing them, and so I just have a lot of pending books that I've read 2 chapters from. I really need to stop doing that. I'm trying really hard now once I pick up a book and start reading to just dedicate myself to that book and finish it. And I'm getting better. It's still one of those things though. So this is what I've got going on other than this. Hold on. Okay. So one of the books that I wanted to read in March, and I still want to read in March, and I just don't know if I'm in the mood to do it this week, is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. Also, I got this one for my birthday, The Lion's Den by Catherine St. John. This is also a thriller, and I heard somebody else talking about it on BookTube. I can't remember right now who, but I want to read this. I've heard that it's really good, and I've heard that it's like Crazy Rich Asians with a thriller twist, and I really enjoyed Crazy Rich Asians, so I think that I'm going to really like this, especially because I've really gotten into thrillers now. I did start this one because I was so excited to get it for my birthday. I think I've read a chapter of it, so I was thinking about going back into this one because I'm really stoked about reading it. So this is another possibility. I do for sure want to start Court of Thorns and Roses because this was one of the ones that I said I was going to read this week, and my best friend's wanting to read it with me, so I think that we're going to try to read it together. And also, I picked up this adorable bookmark from my local bookstore. These are actually made in Nashville, and so I thought it was pretty cool that my local bookstore actually had these from Nashville and they're handmade. It's just super cool. But it's a little key and it's got the ribbon run through it, and you wrap it into your book and then you just pull it back off of your cover whenever you are ready to take it off and read. So I just thought that was really neat. It's kind of like a little book charm, and I like that. It's kind of a neat idea for a bookmark. I haven't seen anything like that before. Although it doesn't stack easily whenever I want to stack books on top of one another. So I always like to try new bookmarks and see how I feel about them. So probably I'm going to start that one maybe tonight after I finish this one, because I'm just kind of still in a romance mood and jumping into a romance. I don't know that I'm ready to jump into Hero of Ages today. I'll probably start that one again because I'm already in chapter 2. I'll probably jump back into that one tomorrow. Oh, wanted to read another book of the month book, which Lock Every Door is a book of the month book, but I wanted to read one of my more recent ones, and so I've got The Heiress Gets a Duke by Harper St. George, and I have read, hit myself with the book, I have read a few pages of this already, and so I'm wanting to read some more of it, but I don't know if I want to read this one this week or not. Maybe. I also still have Pride and Prejudice because last week I didn't read any on it. I was thinking about maybe just like reading 5 chapters here and there so that I'm reading some and getting through it, because I really want to start reading at least one classic a month. That's what I was doing last year, and I was going through some classics that I ended up really enjoying. So I want to try to do that again this year and try to read one classic a month, and that would definitely help me get through my classics, especially since I'm so excited to read them, but I always tend to put them on the back burner for no specific reason. I just get excited for other stuff. And I also picked this up. I've already taken the dust jacket off of it, but this is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I picked this up at my local bookstore the other day, and I love this cover. I love the green, and I love that it has that little, I don't know if it's going to come into focus. I love that it has that little stamp like it's from a public library on the front. And when I picked it up from the bookstore, the lady at the counter was telling me that this book was not exactly what she expected it to be, but that she really enjoyed it. And so I am excited to go into it because I've heard a lot of people say that if you really like Dracula, if you like horror, if you like that very creepy, slow build kind of scary, that you'll like this book. And I do really like horror, and I do like Bram Stoker, and so I like scary vampires. I mean, you know, sexy vampires are cool too, but scary vampires are just more fun because that's like old school. You got scary vampires and scary werewolves and things that go bump in the night. That's the kind of stuff that I like. And so I'm excited to read this. I think it's going to scare me. I'm not sure, but I do kind of get scared easily. I love watching scary movies and stuff, but I do tend to get scared rather easily. So I'm looking forward to checking this book out. I might start it, but I'm not sure. I've got a horror and 2 thrillers sitting here, so my mood is all over the place. High fantasy, romance, horror, thrillers. That's why I'm kind of like I don't know what to start next. So I'm going to finish the dating plan, and then I'm going to pick up something and start reading. And when I do that, I will let you guys know what I've decided to read. I can't promise that it will be one of these books that I've showed you, but it most likely will be. We'll see though. I'm just all over the place. I will check back in with you guys after I finish the dating plan. Well, before I go, let me say very quickly, I did end up liking this a lot more than I thought that I was going to. I think that the characters don't start out the best, but they get better as the story progresses, and it's not so much that there's like great character growth. I think that they pretty well stay the same throughout the book. It's just you get a lot of revelations about things that happened in the past. I think my biggest issue from the beginning was that some of the stuff that happened in the past with Daisy, the main character, she just held a grudge for so long. She's almost 30 and she's like super successful, super nerdy, super cool, and yet she was holding a grudge for something that happened in high school. And whenever you're reading it at the beginning and you're seeing her act very over the top dramatic about this without any context, it's kind of annoying because you're like, you're really successful. You're almost 30. There's no reason why you should be acting this way about prom. That was prom. But then as you start to get into the story and start to unravel what's happening and what happened in the past and why she was so upset about that night and everything that actually happened, then it starts to make more sense. I feel like the author would have benefited from the beginning, starting out with either her being less overdramatic about that or a little more detail, because that was just very over the top in the beginning. So that's what gave me the sour taste in my mouth whenever I very first started this story, and that's where I started having hesitations about even wanting to read it whenever I started. But I'm really glad that I stuck it out, and I'm really glad that I'm finishing it, because it ended up being a really cute story, and I ended up really liking all of the characters in it. Although I will say I don't think that they're 100% realistic, I do think that this is still a really cute book. So anyway, I will give you more thoughts about this later. For now, I'm going to go and finish this up. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hello there, book friends. I am in the process of cooking some spaghetti for lunch. I thought that I would check in with you guys. I did not check in yesterday. Today is Thursday. I did not check in yesterday because I did not really do any significant reading. I cleaned house a lot yesterday and took the children for a ride through the park and to get some ice cream. So I didn't really do a whole lot, and I didn't really feel like I needed to update you guys on nothing. But on Tuesday, whatever the last update was, I finished this, and I ended up liking it. And I think that it's a cute story. I don't have any issues with it, really. I felt like it was honestly lacking believable characters. Like, these characters had traits that just didn't seem like real people. Like the way that their storylines progress, just, it's not something that would actually happen. I mean, maybe like that one in a million chance or whatever, but anyway, I just was not really a fan of the characters as far as their development. Now, the story itself, it was cute, and I feel like for the main character to be like this motorcycle riding bad boy, he acted kind of not so bad boyish. He seemed more emotional than I would have expected from a bad boy character. So like I said, I think it's a cute story, and I actually did really enjoy it as far as like family elements and things of that nature. My lighting just keeps getting all wonky. I don't know what's happening with it. There we go. Now we're focused. My camera's just disagreeing with me right now. So I think that the characters are just very surface level, which is fine because the story was cute and the family element was cute, and I ended up liking Daisy a little more than I thought that I would at the beginning initially. And Liam's character was just kind of meh. I think that it's not terrible. It's not my favorite, but it was a fun read. I have read a little bit more of The Hero of Ages. I haven't read a whole lot of it because, like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of reading yesterday. But I think I'm on page 30. Yeah, page 30. I'm going to try to read to like page 200 today so that I can get caught up, or maybe even a little bit more. Actually, like, don't let the sunlight deceive you. We are under some severe storm watches right now, and so things are just a little tense because we've got like risks of very severe storms headed our direction. So I'm trying to be on top of the weather situation, and so we may actually go over to my dad's house for a little while today because we'll be safer over there. So I'm going to finish cooking my lunch. I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I also did read like 5 pages of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about the first 5 pages, but I am enjoying the writing so far. One of these 2 books I'm going to listen to the audio of while I'm cooking. I just don't know which one. I don't know if I'm in the mood right now for like the heavy fantasy or if I'm more in the mood for A Court of Thorns and Roses. I also did. There goes my lighting again. So I'm gonna go cook my lunch and I'm gonna pick one of these to read. I don't know what I've already said because I got sidetracked with the children. Also, I got the audiobook for Undercover Bromance, which my physical copy is on that side of the room and I'm not gonna go get it right now, but I might listen to that because like right now I'm in the mood for something light and fluffy and I may give this a shot for a little bit and see, because I don't really know how this one is. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but I don't know if it's what I'm feeling right now. So anyway, I'm going to pick one of those 3 books and I'm going to listen to it while I cook. And I'll check back in with you guys in a little while, so long as weather permits. As long as everything doesn't get too crazy, I'll check back in with you guys because I'm getting better about doing check-ins. Look at me go. Hello there. I have read 13 pages of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I haven't had a whole lot of time. We had a big storm cell blow through and then had to cook some food for the the food that I was cooking was done and we ate. And so I would have listened to my audiobook, but they were literally screaming. Like running through the house, screaming. So yeah, I couldn't hear myself think, let alone hear my audiobook playing. So I kind of just gave up on that idea for the time being. And now you can see I've got one napping. He needed a nap. That was why he was so high-strung earlier. He didn't want to go to bed last night. So he was up until like, I don't know, sometime between 10:30 and 11, which is way past his bedtime. And then he got up at the same time this morning that he usually gets up. So, like, he's been in a mood all day. And then the little one was just really hungry. And he gets hangry when he's hungry. So, he's in a much better mood now. And since his brother can't pester him, he's playing with his toys. Which is prime time for me to turn on BookTube on a video I've already watched. And just sit and read. And I'm thinking I may read a little bit more on this one and then pick something else up because have you ever been in the mood for like everything so then you don't know what to read? I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I want to read everything. I'm just in the mood for like all things. And so I don't know what I'm actually in the mood for. I guess my mind is restless. Those are all the genres. A lot of romance. And you know, I just realized this week, because this is the first week in like, I think 3 weeks that I haven't been reading a Regency romance. I kind of miss my Regency romance. I kind of want another one. I miss listening to my Regency romance. I need to read the 3rd one in the Girl Meets Duke series, but I've been reading them physically while also listening to the audio, and I don't have a physical copy of the 3rd book yet. That's one that I'm going to have to get. and they don't have it at my local used bookstore, and that's where I got the other two. And part of me wants to just wait until they have a copy so that I can get a copy that's got the stamp from my favorite used bookstore and, you know, is all beat up and old. But then there's a part of me that's like, no, I really want to read it. Maybe I should just order a copy. But then it's going to be all new and pristine, and I don't necessarily want a new pristine copy, even though I'm going to beat it up too. I don't know. It's one of those things that's like, it's really not a big deal to just order a copy, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm going to finish the coffee that I made for myself like a long time ago, which I stuck in the freezer to cool down to make it like an iced coffee, and now it's like room temperature. It's like you can't win for losing, because if you have a hot coffee and you let it sit, it's going to be cold. If you have a cold coffee and you let it sit, then it's going to be room temperature. It's not cold anymore. So like, you gotta drink them in their prime. Now I'm rambling. I'm gonna go. I'll catch up in a bit. Good morning, book friends. It is not yet 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. I have not checked in because it's been kind of hectic. Friday, I was out all day with my best friend and we did some book shopping. By the time I got home, my kids were unruly because they had napped in the car, and so I was chasing them around all evening until almost midnight. So I didn't have a chance to check in with you guys, and I haven't really had a chance to read this week. Every time I've turned on an audiobook, my kids are yelling so loud that I can't hear the audiobook. So I've had to read like after they've gone to bed, and I haven't really had a whole lot of time because I put my audiobook on and I fall asleep. So that is how my week has gone, and I have had like little bits and pieces of time here and there to read. So basically, this has been a reading vlog of me reading about 30 pages in like 3 different books. So let me tell you what I did read. I read 30 pages in The Hero of Ages. Oh, 4 books. 4 books I read 30 pages in. I read 30 pages in The Hero of Ages. I didn't pick that one back up because it is so much, and I just wasn't really feeling like trying to dive into that with a lot going on this week. I did pick up The Wallflower Wager whenever I went shopping with my best friend. I grabbed a copy of this because I was loving this series so much, and I didn't have a copy of the last book. So now I have it, and I read 30, maybe a little more of it. I'm not really sure. My bookmark's in the wrong place because I listened to the audiobook some. So I am at least 30 pages into this, if not 50 pages. I also read a little over 30 pages of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm really enjoying this so far. I was a little hesitant because I've heard some pretty mixed reviews. I know a lot of people really love the series, but I've just heard a lot of mixed reviews about this book, and my best friend's reading it with me, and she's not necessarily loving it right now, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I think that I kind of like Sarah J. Maas. I started her books with The House of Blood and House of Dirt. Crescent City, the Crescent City book, the first one. I can't think of what the title is. It has completely slipped my mind. But anyway, I started reading. Sorry for the lighting. The sun is kind of going in and out behind clouds, and so it's making my lighting weird, but there's not a whole lot I can do to control that. So you'll just have to bear with me. I kind of jumped into her books with that book, and I know a lot of other people started, with the Throne of Glass series, or they started with this series. So I'm just now getting into this one. I want to read these and then read the Throne of Glass series. And I'm looking forward to reading all of her books because I'm starting to really get into them. And this one I'm actually really enjoying. So there's that one. And then I also picked this up at the beginning of the week. I went shopping with my other best friend. He and I always hang out on like Monday or Tuesday, and we'll go book shopping and get coffee and stuff like that. And so we did that, and I picked up, I may have already told you guys, I can't remember. I picked up the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and I have read 31 pages. That's exactly where I'm at because I was just reading this one early this morning. And I really love this book. I relate to this book so much. The mom vibes in this book, I get it. I totally get it. I'm loving this book, and I can't wait to get a little further into it to start getting into some creepy stuff because I'm in the mood for some creepy and to be scared. And I've heard that that's the vibes that people got from this book. They got scared. So that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, last night we had severe storms blow through, and I was awake until almost 3 in the morning. Maybe 3 in the morning. I lost track of the time. After the storms kind of passed, we were up a little bit longer before finally crashing. And so then my son was up at 5 a.m. this morning, so I'm all over the place today. But I did have a chance to sit and read a little on this last night while we were keeping track of the weather, and I just really enjoy this book. And so now I'm bouncing between books, and I don't necessarily know what I want to read. I'm not going to be able to do a dedicated review this week because I didn't finish anything. I managed to read 30 pages in 4 different books, and my hero of ages is over there, and I'm not walking to get it right now. I am going to film some other videos today, and I'm going to read today. I'm going to spend today doing a lot of reading. I did a lot of housework yesterday. I want to read today. And I'm going to try to get as far as I can in a book. I don't know which one. I'll just pick one and start reading. And if I finish something, I'll have a review for you guys. But if I don't finish anything, then I'll have a different video on Wednesday. My TBR for April should be going up this week, probably Friday, and I have no idea what I want to read for April. So that should be fun, trying to decide what I want to focus on. I have no idea. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I am going to finish Hero of Ages going into next week's reading vlog because I really want to finish that. I've got to know what happens. So that one is going to be my main goal for next week. This week was just kind of crazy. We had some really bad weather this week, and we've had to deal with that quite a bit. So that's what you get, Tennessee spring. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. I hate this time of year just for the bad weather. Like, I hate bad weather. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to go and read and film some other videos for you guys, and I will check back in a little while and let you guys know what I decided to read for the rest of today, which might be several books, who knows. I'll talk to you later. Hey guys, I thought I'd go ahead and close out this vlog today. It is Monday afternoon. I wanted to wait until I did a little bit of reading through Monday before I actually just closed everything out and posted this. So, to update you guys, in my last clip, I think that I said that I didn't finish any books so I wouldn't be able to have a review. I lied to you. I did finish a book. I just completely forgot that I finished a book. I finished The Dating Plan by Sarah Desai, and I will have a review up for this on Wednesday. I've already talked about this some. I've already told you guys how I feel about it. I liked it. It was good. I think that it's a cute story. I'll talk more about it in the review. Other than that, I started A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I got to page 30. I'm in page 30. I know I've already told you guys that I got to page 30 in all of my books, but I did read a little bit more in some of my books, so let's just go book by book and see. Page 30 of this one. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I know I got further in this book. I was really enjoying it, so I couldn't put it down. I got to page 50! I'm in page 50 of this book, like exactly page 50. And so far, I'm loving this book. It is so good. Every time I've had a chance to sit down and read, I've been reading this book because I'm loving it so much. The Hero of Ages. I already know because I checked a second ago. I'm on page 30. I never read any more. Earlier in the week, I said I was on page 30 and that I was going to read some more, but then I didn't read any more, so it's going to carry over into my next vlog, which will start later after I film the opening clip for it, because I haven't done that yet. I've been out all day, so I haven't had a chance. This is the first time I've come in and had a chance to film. So I'm telling you now, I'm on page 30 of this, but this is going to be my main goal for the coming week to finish. And the last book, The Wallflower Wager, I am on page 46. I did listen to the audiobook on this one a little bit, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying seeing Penny's perspective, and I'm really excited to see what happens with her, because she is such a sweet character with all of her animals, and so I'm excited to see where this book goes. So as you can see, I got to almost page 50 in 2 books. I got to page 30 in 2 books, and I finished The Dating Plan. So overall, I didn't have like a hugely successful week because I was kind of all over the place with my reading, but I would still say that I had a successful enough week, and I read quite a few things. I got into some new books, and I am making progress fairly well in the books that I'm reading. So this coming week, which would be starting today technically, I will be finishing one of these top 4 books, if not more, hopefully more. Hopefully I'll be able to finish more than one this week. I'm really enjoying everything that I'm reading. I'll definitely have more for you guys next week. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.